how we can keep ourselves cleansed, how we can keep our space cleansed, so that we are always in a good energy and not getting zapped out of energy, and so that we are always in a space where we know that it's me who feels this way. So the space cleansing techniques have been covered previously, should be available on Facebook, one of our lives, that we upload. So if you ever want to recap into it, or if you have missed it, it is okay, because what I'm going to discuss now is completely different topic from that. It's like if you have missed that, it's not like you won't be able to follow what I'm saying. So you are very much in the present, and we are very much going to do this together, and you will be able to follow through everything that I say. So once again, welcome. I'm gonna ask everyone who has joined to take a minute to close their eyes. Just close your eyes. Yes. And follow your breath. Focus on breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and let out. Deep nasal breaths. Bringing your consciousness in the here and now from everywhere in the universe. And all that does not belong to you simply dissipates and releases. Let's be your whole integrated selves. Let all the urgency dissipate and release until a deep feeling of calm is what you feel predominantly. I welcome each one of you in energy now, perceiving your energy fields, giving you an energetic hug, letting you know that we are all together, loved, appreciated. And no, we are not weird. Weird in a good way, maybe. And yes, we belong. We matter, and we are worth it. All right, come back to me. You can open your eyes. Thank you very much for doing this exercise with me. And I'm going to start my topic with a small introduction to what being an empath in your daily life means. For some of you who missed the previous talk, might want a little bit of understanding on what we are getting at here. Being an empath is something which would have been a very foreign topic, like a foreign language to me when I was a child. If somebody told me this is what empathy means, I would have no idea what it means. I just knew what it felt like because empaths have this ability very young in life. When they are kids, they are the ones who are the sensitive kids. They are the ones who have to be, you have to speak to them softly and not criticize them when you want to correct them on something, and always be nice to them, trying to explain them gently how things work, because if you criticize an empath, if you make them feel not good enough, then it's going to stick to them for a very long time. uh, some people just take negative feedback as a challenge, overcome it, etc., etc. Well, it works for some, but for empaths, they feel things very deeply, and for them these things could get stuck for years, for all we know. So an empath is someone who feels things very deeply, who's very sensitive, very, very sensitive to emotions, energies, people, places. It's like they are always in communion, they're always in communication with everyone and everything around them. So as let's say when you are growing up, when you were in school, and when you go to school and there are so many kids out there, a child who has a powerful empath as an ability would feel drained very easily in mixed crowds, and when there are too many people. So so this person, this child would feel drained very easily, would get very tired, would have very little energy left. Some but but if you are in luck and you are around nature, you would rejuvenate very fast. So if your energy is getting zapped out and you sit in a garden, or if there's a water body somewhere around, if you could just gaze at the sky, within minutes you would be back, you know. So an empath is someone who can step into other person's universe and feel what they feel, know what they are knowing, and as if it's their own. For a moment, you lose yourself and become them. For a moment, you lose yourself and become a place, a person, an object, and you know exactly how they're feeling. You have been doing it so much automatically, so much instantaneously, that you don't even realize you're doing it. So, therefore, one of the biggest challenges for empaths is to recognize what is yours and what's not yours. For example, you are going to meet a friend, and you sit down, you're having coffee with a bunch of friends, and you suddenly start feeling very depressed or very irritated. And you'd be like, oh, I'm suddenly very depressed and irritated. I don't feel like being here anymore. And you would maybe cut it short, go back, or maybe just sit down there, finish it, and then go back, and then feel really bad. And then that feeling may stay with you for a while until it goes away. So, and you would not even question that it's not yours. You would not even know that it's not yours. So, apart from other people's feelings and emotions, other things that you could feel is people's physical symptoms. So, if somebody has a headache, you might get a headache. So, a lot of empaths may have issues with random aches and pains in the body, something they can't explain. Some of them struggle with um, comfort eating, because somebody else is dieting and they want a donut, and this empath is like, why do I want a donut, but I want a donut, and you're going to go and eat it. So you are sometimes picking on other people's food cravings, you're picking on emotions, bodily sensations. Right now we are in this virus situation, so an empath might be picking on all the all the distress, and there's so much happening, there's fear, there's distress, people don't know about their job securities, or everything that's happening. An empath will feel it. Some of us are so much have become so much sensitive to it, that for me it's very hard to watch disturbing content on television. So it would be really hard to like watch news and see stuff that other people would just see, but for me it's like, I would do this. I would like close my eyes and I will cringe myself, and I would avoid watching dark stuff. I would read rather than watch, because I can take it when I'm reading, compared to if I'm seeing, it will be too real and it will be too hard for me. And sometimes when I have read a book, and if it's a very dark book, I'm into fiction a lot. So if I've read a story and it's dark and it's about misery and stuff, it would affect me for days. So being an empath has been a challenge, as when you don't understand what's happening, when everything is just too overwhelming. And that's why I got motivated, inspired, living as one all my life, all up till now. I understood how important it is to have guidance, how important it is to have understanding. For when we are not aware, when we are in ignorance, we do a lot of wrong things. We make things about ourselves. We, let's say, something that has nothing to do with me, but all my life I've carried it. That's something, if we have a deeper understanding of these topics, we can live a better life, and we can inspire others to live a better life. We can maybe understand our kids better. We can maybe understand our siblings better, our parents better, and we can develop good kinships. So the whole reason why I wanted to do this talk is for you to first acknowledge your sensitivity and honor it. Once you and acknowledge that you are very sensitive and honor the sensitivity, the next step will come. So yeah, if you can make notes of stuff, that would be good as well from this point on. So the first thing ever that an empath needs to know is that this is not a curse. It can't be. It just can't be. It's a gift. We chose it. We chose it because we were the ones who wanted to create change. We were the souls who came with a purpose, a strong sense of purpose. We didn't come here to just have fun. I mean, that's also good. I like having fun. It's good. I mean, what's the point if you're not having fun? But it's also like there's a strong sense of purpose. There's a strong sense of reason why we feel things so deeply. It's not just a curse. It's actually completely opposite to what we think it is. So why we suffered is because there's less information available in our modern day society. Not with shamans though. They understand this, that they value it. They are called shamans. They are called, the high priest and priestesses, and they are the ones who are kept up in the tribe because they are looked at to, because they are the source. They are the ones who are the portals of communication, who would bring the divine information, who would tell, who would give the forewarnings, who would guide, who would be leading. So these are the ones who people look up at. But in our modern days, we are just stripped of these our abilities. We are just asked to behave in a way that everybody is too robotic. Um and we think something's wrong with us if we are feeling. But one thing that you have to do, number one thing, is to learn about your sensitivity. Understand how sensitive you are and honor it. It's okay. It's actually okay to be this sensitive. It's actually okay to feel. If I am walking around and I am watching a tree, and I can feel that the tree is lonely because it's probably the only tree in a corner, and it feels a lack of connection, and I just say, "Hi tree, how are you doing? I'm not crazy." It's just a gift. I can feel things. How incredible is that? So while you're taking a walk and you suddenly start feeling a sense of loneliness, look around and start noticing, okay, I'm not the one lonely, but who's lonely? Let me check who's lonely. Maybe somebody is, maybe something is. And talk to it, greet it, and you will feel this burst of joy in you. I promise it's gonna be amazing. So acknowledge your sensitivity and honor it. That's lesson one. Now moving ahead. So have you ever noticed that people who are psychic are very, very sensitive in nature? People who are artistic as well. So they are different. They don't quite follow the crowd. They're very different. They just live by their own beat, and as if the normal stuff around the world is just not normal for them. They are different. They are happier in what they are. They're free, because they are weird for us, but perhaps they are doing what they feel right towards, very authentic. So once we know that this is something that I can do, that I can connect, what we need to understand is that we need to break some rules and we need to be different. You don't have to always want to appear normal. That's not something that we can do all the time. I'm not saying go out and be crazy all the time and not follow rules at all. It's not the point. The point is not to make a statement at all, actually. The point is to just live a happy life, being who you are, being authentic to who you are. So when you are doing your normal things, just don't be scared to break a few rules to be authentic. And step into that space where you are now realizing that all that you feel, 99% of it is what you're reading. All the thoughts, feelings, emotions, 99% of it could be what you're reading, could be what you are analyzing with your empathy, could be what you are sensing. And give yourself the credit for it. So let's say you go to the gym and you are doing a workout. You are able to perceive everybody out there. There are some people who have some serious issues with their body. They can't just accept their body. Some of them have very faulty belief systems that believe they have to give themselves pain in order to be okay. And I never realized why I didn't like going to gyms. I just didn't feel good about it. I would rather choose running or other activities or yoga, but not gym, just not gym. And I didn't understand why. And I kept telling myself it's probably because all the machines and stuff. And I'm like, not, I'm so much of a nature person, but it's not that. I was perceiving too much of it. I would go there, and all those things would come to me. And the entire industry sometimes could be very cut off from emotions. So that could sometimes cause a problem. So step into a space that you are reading things. Now I can go to gym because I know I'm reading into stuff, and it's not me who feels this way. I don't hate my body. I don't want to give pain to my body. It's just the energy there, and now I can dissociate with it. So it's very easy for me to like hit the gym and be okay now. Even like when I acknowledge it, then when you step in that space, you literally clear that space. For as long as you are there, the energy is good there, because you have now done this. You have given a gift of understanding to that space. So when you go in that gym next, with an understanding that there are so many people with so many perceptions here and it's affecting everybody, with just that acknowledgement, you clear the space. And you have done that just by being you. So that's a gift. You can do that to wherever you are, whichever space you step on. God knows we need people who come with a gift of clearing. Like the very land you walk on, you're clearing with your acknowledgement, with your presence, with your understanding and depth. You walk in the malls, you walk in the theaters, you walk in the grocery stores, you walk in the hospitals, and you are just by being you, just by with that acknowledgement of how many people and how many perceptions are around the space. God bless them. You are being a gift. There's a spark of joy you'll feel in your heart by just doing that. So make it a habit of wherever you are, whatever you are perceiving, don't make it about yourself. That's what I'm getting at. Don't make it about yourself. You are reading into something or someone, and you need to acknowledge it, and you need to give a silent prayer, a sort of light to that. Moving on to something which will benefit you is the gift of psychic abilities. An empath is naturally psychic. We all are, on some level. Some of us can perceive better. Some of us can just predict better. It's like I can step in. For me, I can step into a person's energy field, and I can tell them what's wrong with them. Not necessarily judgmental way, but I can tell them where they are blocked. I can tell them where they're coming from, what exactly is blocking them, and I can tell them what can unblock them. So, based on my healing experience or readings and personal journey, so I can guide them. Now, you have the ability as an empath to step into someone's universe, read them completely on some level, and connect with them deeply. So you are not the ones who will get misunderstood. Just remember, don't make it about yourself. So this phrase has to be a motto in life. Don't make it about yourself. So for example, just an example. Let's say I'm with a partner, and this partner is deeply wounded. So this person has difficulty opening their heart to me. Now I could say, oh, maybe I'm not worthy of love. Maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe this person pities me. That's why he's with me. Because why on the otherwise he would be with me but not love me. So I would make it about myself, and I would ruin my life with that thought. I would have lack of self-worth. uh, and haven't we all felt this way as kids sometimes, as growing up as teens, when we could not get appreciation, love and worthiness from probably our parents, our teachers, our friends, or people at work? Didn't we always make it about ourselves? Didn't we always say that, oh, maybe something's wrong with me? But If we ever step out of this thing and we don't make it about ourselves, then maybe we can get a window into their universe. We can see how wounded they are, how difficult it is to open up to someone. Maybe they need more reassurance than me. Maybe they just need to be held. Maybe then they will learn to love. Maybe then they will be okay. And maybe then the world will learn to love. So if I stop looking for it and start giving it by understanding what that person needs, where they come from, maybe I can understand their wounds, their hurt, their pain, or their hesitances. Maybe then I can help them out in my own way. Sometimes an empath is someone who will know exactly how to frame their words so that they don't get misunderstood. So I won't go to my partner and say, I think you're wounded. That's going to bring their defenses right up here. That's going to create stress in them. They don't want to face it. So I would hold them very gently in their space. I would be very calm and gentle. I would approach softly. I do not want to create a tornado or a hurricane in their life. I just want them to open up and love me as much as I love them. So, when you don't make things about yourself, you get a window into other person's reality, their universe. You can slowly start understanding where they come from. And from there, you can get an idea of how to deal with them. At the end of the day, we want to be connected to each other. We want to love each other. We want to be there for each other. We are very social. We have very high social needs. So rather than creating this huge walls, maybe don't make things about yourself and look into the other person and see where they come from and meet them halfway. I promise you, it will work. Now, moving on to the psychic perceptions. You are very good at psychically perceiving things. So you are someone who's good at making decisions. So when, let's say, you are looking for a new house, you want to like even look at the pictures or physically step in that house and get a feel of that house feels like. Don't just look at the external beauty. Don't just look at the status. Just feel it. Your feelings are your superpower. Your feelings are always guiding you to the right path. So feel what you feel. Do you feel open and expansive? Do you feel caged? Do you feel heavy? Do you feel heartbroken? This is not about yourself. This is about what you're perceiving about that space. You're perceiving what it feels like in that space. And that's giving you an indication of whether this place is right for you or not. Always leave any of those spots with a silent prayer and acknowledgement. I acknowledge you, I thank you, and I wish you all the best. And then move out. Find the place which feels right. So the same thing happens when you are looking for a partner. The same phenomena can happen when you are choosing anything, let's say a career. If you are parents to empath kids, you can help them this way. Just help them understand how they can connect to their feelings, and that way no career counseling test can do that. Honestly, because I have done those things. I'm a psychology postgraduate and I have studied those things, and I understand at what level we answer those questions. So you have to be very soft and gentle and acknowledge your feelings. See what calls you, see what feels right, see what makes you feel like doors are opening, sunlight is streaming in, and as if your universe is expanding and you're feeling very free. So that's the feeling you're looking for. That's the right decision. Wrong decision, wrong choice would feel like walls closing, chest tightening, and feeling very heavy overall, as if you have no choice. When you are deciding something and you start feeling as if you have no choice, I would say take some time. Don't give your answer because something is not right. You as an empath, you are perceiving it. So always go by that feeling. So you have to, this is my third tip to you. You have to see if you're feeling as if you are open, expansive, free, or claustrophobic, tightening, walls closing. Yeah. So you would know, empaths know what I'm saying because you have felt this many times in many areas of life. So when, let's say, for example, you are going to grocery store and you are like walking the regular aisles, and you're passing through, you have got your salads and your healthy stuff, and now you're passing through let's say the grocery section, and you look at these amazing muffins or this yummy cake, and you're like, oh my God, this is so delicious. And you're looking at it, but at the same time, you feel a very heavy feeling on your heart. So you as an empath should know that there are so many people who looked at that cake so lustfully and did not just take it, and you're tapping into that energy. Your body actually does not even want that cake. On the flip side, you're walking down the same aisle and you feel that cake, and you're not much into chocolates, probably, or you are, for all I know, and you just see that cake and you feel like everything is sunshine and rainbows and love and light. Buy that cake, your body is going to like it, and you won't actually have any problem with it. Or for all you know, you connected with that cake because you will be expecting guests soon, so you could share some. You are very psychic, you're just not giving yourself enough credit. So always look for this feeling of walls closing, or tightness on the chest, or heaviness, or feeling like a doom, or everything is open, everything is expanded, and you're feeling very free. So the same thing, in order to make the right decisions, you have to look for this one tool. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to slowly take off, unmute yourself and ask any questions at this point if you have. I am. Anyone? So you can basically take your mics off now, and you can talk if you wish to, and you can interrupt me if you wish to. Okay? That's all right.
Can I ask a question?
Please. Natalie Francis. Hi.
Yeah, hi. Although I'm in quarantine at the moment, I still feel an incredible amount of energy from people that I work with, or people in my life that I'm not seeing at the moment. Even if we're not in touch every day or we're not in meetings, I still feel a certain heaviness.
So this means that your empathy abilities and your psychic abilities go beyond your physical body, and which is the case with many empaths actually. So just by being connected with someone, you are able to feel them. There's this concept called cord cutting in healing, and we are advised. So if there was no if I'm not with the person and I'm disconnected with them because I'm not with the person, then it would be very easy for me. But then I have to go through the whole ritual of cord cuttings. Why? Because it just doesn't stop by not being physically with that person. Or even in relationships, even if I'm like broken up with someone, I would still continue feeling that person for as long as I have some sort of a charge with them. So in this kind of scenario, what I would do is I would sit down, close my eyes. So Ho'oponopono is my tool of choice. Ho'oponopono is just these 4 sentences. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. So I would sit down, and if I'm feeling heaviness and stress coming from different directions in life, I would slowly close my eyes. You can play Ho'oponopono on YouTube, so you don't have to chant it also if you don't want to. And slowly I will invite these people in my mind space. And one by one, I'm just gonna so this you actually brought me to my next topic. So okay, I'll finish this first. So one by one, I'm just gonna chant this over to the situation, to the energy, to the person, to the people involved, until I feel the charge is gone, until I feel the resistance is gone. So one of the things that we do as an empath automatically, because we didn't know how to handle this ability, so the one thing we learned to do very well was create barriers. So without even realizing, we have created barriers. So the moment you meet people, you will realize that with some people you're more open, with others there is this sense of a wall. So you just literally have that wall up without even knowing. So if I ever approach a topic that somebody doesn't like about themselves, the wall will be there, and they're going to try to deflect me. Everything is happening on a very subconscious level, on the in a way that it's hard for them to even understand that they're doing it. So we as people are doing it. So we can actually do a small exercise to improve our energy flow. So the rule of nature, the rule of energy is that if I don't resist it, it will flow off me, it will go through me, and nothing will happen. But the more I resist something, the more, sorry, I'm holding crystal. So the more it will persist. It's going to like do this. So there's going to be this. And this is stress. This is what we call stress. Because this is stress. I'm holding, I'm tight. I'm not open and letting it pass. Right? So when this is happening, we want to learn, there are a few mind techniques that we want to learn where we can improve the energy flows, and this can help. So what I wanted to do was do a small exercise for this technique. So once again, I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes. Sit, relax, and as you have closed your eyes, I want you to just focus on your breath again, as breath connects us in the here and now. And as you're breathing in and you're breathing out, you're simply in the present moment. Focus on your body. With every breath in and out, focus on your body. Now try to perceive, are you in flow with energy, or are there barriers right now? Feel as if you are pulling energy from Mother Earth, from the soles of your feet. And this energy moves up in your body and goes out of your body from your head, from your crown chakra. So you're pulling it from Earth, you're sending it out to the crown chakra. The energy comes from universe, the energy goes back to universe. It's available in abundance. So by you pulling the energy in your body, you're not making anything less. So as you're pulling this energy and letting it flow in your body, you will become aware of how smooth or disturbed is the flow of energy in your body. There are some areas where you will feel the flow is weaker, and some areas where it's very smooth. For some of you, it's going to be impossible to move the energy out of your crown chakra. Now, with this exercise, think of someone with whom you have a problem with. Imagine you are standing in front of that person and you actually have a problem with this person. You're not in a smooth energy with them. Now see them. What are they doing? Are they pulling energy from you, or are they pushing energy to you? Become aware. Either way, it's not a problem. What I want you to understand is that when they are pulling or pushing energy, what is your response? Are you allowing it to happen, or are you trying to resist it? Now slowly chant in your mind, I'm pushing down my barriers. Barriers push down. Barriers push down. Barriers push down. And now, if they are pulling your energy or pushing, let it happen. If they are taking energy from you, you will take energy from universe. So give them as much energy as they want from you. Blast it to them for all you care. If they are giving you energy, if energy is coming from them, keep receiving, keep receiving, keep receiving, keep receiving. Don't stop the flow. Now thank this person and let them go out of your energy field. And tell me, by doing this, did you feel light or heavy? You can have your mics back on so you could tell me.
Feel light, Nazish. Meghna here.
Hi, Meghna.
Hi.
Light.
Yeah. But the thing is, the question I had is, normally when you say barriers down, isn't it like cord cutting sort of thing? Because the energy is flowing through you, and you're putting the barrier down. That is what I felt like. You're cutting the flow of energy when you're saying barrier down.
You are pushing down your barriers or walls that you create, which you think you need to defend yourself.
Okay.
So you are showing the universe, the other energy as well, that there's nothing there to be afraid of. That
Okay.
whatever you are infinite, you are so powerful, you're so much light that whatever comes just passes through you.
Okay.
Nothing stays stuck.
Okay. Thanks, Nazish.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
Nazish. Just quickly wanted to share. I thought that this person was really sucking the energy out of me. But once I allowed it and I received the energy from earth and going through up from my crown chakra like a tree blossoming, yeah? And then I was giving that energy to that person who wants to receive the energy from me. It was so overwhelmingly good and I felt so much lighter instead of always thinking like, okay, I need to protect. Just give
thank you
it,
for saying
blast
that.
it.
That is amazing, because that's what we aim for. I want to tell you, the point I wanted to prove was that you are not a limited source of energy, and you are getting this energy infinite. So if you have someone who sucks your energy, just blast them the energy.
That is such a revelation. This is something like, as an empath, it's great to know because what we have been learning from a lot of the classes, okay, you are an empath, you have to protect yourself, you have to conserve your energy, things like this. But for certain people, why not to blast and get over with it?
See, there are levels to being an empath. Like, not being an empath, but there are levels to how awesome you can be at being an empath. Okay. So, at one level, when you are beginning this journey, you need all the protection. So, when I teach Reiki, in my level 2 class, I teach all my students how to shield and protect themselves and how to cleanse themselves. And I tell them that at some point, there will come a time where energetically you will learn how to be immune. So, until then, you need this. So,
okay, thank you. Yes, I guess then I was right in the beginning journey
yeah.
of protecting
So,
myself.
yeah. So
Now it's time to
everything that
give.
you have ever done was right. It was not wrong. It was needed. And today, what you're doing is because you are now on the next level. You just elevated
Okay,
your consciousness to the next level. You are now entering being a superpower as an empath.
this is great to know. Thank you so much. I guess this will help a lot of other people in the group as
Yes,
well to answer their
that's
questions.
the plan.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, uh, shall I move on? Okay. So once you understand that you don't have to be zapped out of your energy, and it's okay to and you learn to feel safe being an empath, you will understand how fun it is being an empath. So when you meet a person, you know who to trust, how far you can go with someone. And don't one of the things that being an empath you have to absolutely do is you have to get rid of judgments. So you have to get rid of judgments for self, and you have to get rid of judgments for others. So the term that right, wrong, good, bad should not exist. So whatever somebody is doing or whatever you're, and I know this is a controversial statement. So what if somebody is doing something really criminal out there? So, that's not what I mean. So don't generalize my statement there. What I mean is that, when we have this ability, we have this mechanism in us. It's like a program. It's like a virus, not a good virus. And it's basically where we start to calculate the risk of how much this person can hurt me when we meet someone. And when we are like, friends with them, partners with them, working with them, colleagues, or mere strangers, we start to always calculate the risk involved, that how much this person can affect me, hurt me, etc., etc. And based on that, you're going to be like, so this is one thing which being an empath you can't do. You can't operate from these preconceived notions. You have to focus on your feelings. You have to embody this power, and read someone and know that this person could be deeply wounded, which means that this person is going to be very critical, very critical. And I don't have to make this about me. So I have in my work with my clients and stuff, I have sometimes had clients and students who were not the politest, gentlest, nicest to me. And sometimes the comments were very rude. Sometimes it was very harsh, and I felt like, oh my God, this is crazy. I mean, here I am doing like all I could. And this is, so if somebody is very sensitive, they would probably close off, be very choosy about clients, or have like tons of protocols about, like, tell the clients I will not tolerate this, that. And I don't have any of that list. And I'm like, even if somebody is rude, or even if somebody is not nice, I try to be like, I know there is this thing called, you have to like respect yourself and have boundaries, and that's not what I'm getting at. So I will always tell them if they are crossing boundaries politely, etc. But the point here is that in the end, we want to connect. In the end, we want to reach out to each other, and that's the goal. That's like that's what we want to be, a network of people. We don't want to be me versus them. So having judgments is not going to help. So if somebody is not nice to you, or if you perceive something very harsh or cold or violent about someone, once again, don't make it about yourself and don't react to it. Rather than reacting to those readings, see how you can work your way around with people. You have to learn that. You have to allow yourself to not be scared. Fear is one of the biggest problems. So when you are judging, it clouds your empathy ability, it clouds your psychic abilities, and it starts to like overpower you. And before you know it, you have once again started to always protect yourself and keep your barriers up. And so you are not living limitless. If you are doing that, you are either living limitless, or you're always afraid, trying to protect yourself, trying to defend yourself. So the idea is, learn not to judge. Learn not to judge yourself, learn not to judge others. If somebody is not nice to you, it is maybe something about them was like, they could not communicate to you in the language of love and light and compassion. That's something which is a problem with many out there. So it's not about you, and I will not even hold it against them, because unfortunately that's the only language they speak right now. So even though it can affect us, it can emotionally upset us, but don't let it be a long-term thing for you. So come out of it. So if you realize that there are certain judgments that really affect you, like let's say for me, one of my biggest let's say let down on a person always used to be selfishness. So if I see someone being very selfish, it was like the most non-sexy thing for me. So they would lose all the appeal. I would be like, yaks. But then I realized that somebody who operates from selfishness is harboring deep ideas of lack. They feel there's not enough for them or for the world, and they have to have this selfishness in order to survive. So they are operating from something very primal in them, and it's affecting them. That's why. So after I understood it, I started to look at them with compassion. And even if they are operating out of selfishness, I would make a silent prayer, and I would just, do my thing. And it would not affect me as much as it would have. So being non-judgmental is going to help you become very powerful as an empath, and your psychic abilities will flare up because it will not be clouded by your judgments. So sometimes we have judgments about what a man is like, or women is like, or I have judgment about, okay, that community, this religion, or that country, and all of that is like so deeply inside us, and there's so much of this me versus them.
This is my
And
Nazish, the Reiki teacher.
hi, the Reiki teacher. Okay, so
That was
okay.
funny. Somebody microphone is on.
Yeah, so what I mean is that being an empath, it's like you have to learn absolutely how to be non-judgmental. That's one of the things that will help you improve your psychic abilities. You will know things that will, you know, that are awesome. For example, someone who works with, let's say, online trading, stock market, imagine how cool it'd be if they see the trends in the market and they know exactly where to put their funds in, because they are so good at it. So if you ever value your abilities, no matter which area of life you are in, you're going to be good at it. You're going to be very good at it, because you are the one who can know things 10 steps ahead from most people, because you have the ability. The one thing which is hindering it is judgments and operating from fear. So learn how to overcome your judgments, and learn how to become more compassionate, and learn to understand where people come from, so that you can meet them halfway. Are we good? Any questions so far?
Yeah, this is amazing, Nas. But I think this is a good time for me to put my question out there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes now I feel stronger than I started this journey recently. I feel stronger feelings of helping my close family members, like my aunts, uncles, even when I feel that they are lacking something in their life, but I didn't get their permission to help them.
And thank you
And
for saying this.
how do I operate in this?
Amazing thing. I wouldn't have discussed this if you didn't ask. So thank you for saying this. So one of the things we empaths struggle with is feeling overwhelmed by looking at other people, looking at how they live their lives, the choices they are making, and you're like, oh my God, she's going to do this again, and I just want to stop this person, but I can't. Because they won't.
Exactly.
And it's like feeling so helpless about it, because it's like that. So this is a very good question, and something we need to understand is that being an empath, you have another superpower. You can step into this other person's universe, and you can understand how much they are willing to take what you're ready to give them. You have the ability to do that, being an empath. Okay. So let's do a very small exercise for this, a mind exercise. So think of one person you really want to help, but this person is like a little difficult, or maybe not difficult at all. Just think of one person you really want to help, and one topic that you want to discuss with them.
Okay.
And close your eyes and focus on it. Now, step in their universe as if you took one step inside their universe, and feel how much willing they are to receive your guidance. Are the walls closing or opening? That will be the indication. How willing they are to receive what you have to offer them. You may also get a percentage. Get a sense of what are the areas which are very difficult, and they are not ready to be touched on those areas. Get a sense of it. Now greet them with love, light, and compassion, and trace your steps back into your own universe. And that's that. So being an empath, you have this, when you see people suffering, you want to do something about it. And sometimes you have a solution, sometimes you don't have a solution. Either way, we end up feeling sometimes helpless because the other person may not be ready to receive what you have to give them. Or maybe you really don't have a solution and you're just stuck watching them suffer. So helplessness is one of the things empaths feel a lot, and because of which they often suffer from long-term bodily issues as well, like aches and pains and stuff. Because another thing that metaphysics of pain is that it really makes you feel helpless. You're like stuck feeling the pain. So helplessness is one thing that we need to like work on as a soul. It's a journey, it's a lesson we have to master. So for the people who are ready to receive my help, I'm here to give them. For the people who are not ready to receive my help, I'm going to be doing this passively. So I will silently pray for them, wish, and whenever I get a chance to talk to them, I will meet them halfway. I will realize, and you can do this in split seconds. You don't have to really meditate on someone's energy. Being an empath, this is natural to you. So you know what areas you can venture upon and what areas you need to stay clear of for now. Slowly bring them up, because realize your own journey. You were also brought up slowly. Very few are like jerked up. We go there slowly. We realize things slowly in our own time and space so that we can digest what's happening, so that we don't overwhelm ourselves. So they could also get very overwhelmed. So slowly bring them up. Your job is not to change anybody's life, but your job is to create more awareness. That's what an empath will do. They will learn how to create more awareness. They will help people become aware and conscious creators of their reality. That's what you are doing. So you have to do that very slowly. Sometimes you really want to make choices for someone because you as an empath have become aware of what is right for them. Even then, so it is very hard for someone else to agree with you sometimes because they don't see the situation the same way. For example, I know that a friend of mine is dating someone really wrong, and I'll say just don't do this to yourself. Just don't invite this person's energy. It's creating cancer in your body, for crying out loud. That's what it is. So and but this person is not ready. So I would go very slow. I would start with what they can give me. Maybe they need support for now. Maybe they need someone to just hear them out. Maybe slowly they will ask me questions. Maybe slowly they will let me in. I will be there when they are here. Until then, I will wish them well. I will give them light. I will wish them well. And I know that there is a higher power working on all of us. So I'll make a prayer.
Okay,
Just
sounds good. Thank you.
don't allow yourself to feel helpless or overwhelmed. That is important.
Is it
Hi.
okay to send Reiki, distant Reiki,
Mhm.
to close relatives?
Between what I have learned about Reiki is that between mom, dad, husband, wife, brother, sister, and kids, it's totally okay. You don't need permission. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, even with our grandparents, we don't need permission.
Okay.
So,
But
but
then
uncle,
other
aunts, cousins,
relatives,
yeah, you might
it's
have to let them
better.
know. Yeah, you should ask them that would you like to receive some Reiki, and if they're okay with it, then go ahead and do it. If they are not okay with it, then don't do it, because then it will
Don't do
create
it.
changes
Okay.
in their life which they're not ready for, I guess. So we don't want to overwhelm anyone here and scare them away, or give them something that anything can happen. So if they give permission, they are in that state, they are ready, they are in alignment with your energy and what healing you're doing. So it's always good to let them know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Nadish. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
How are you?
Good.
Nadish, my name's Nosheen. I had a question just going back to, empathy. But for example, like I feel like I can be, I'm very empathetic and I have that nature, to be very understanding and very compassionate. But then I feel at times I come to a sort of situation where I feel that it's one way. I can say this as an example for one person in particular that I know that wants to feed off all the advice from me and get all this compassion and my thoughts and everything and I can understand what she's going through, but then I feel it's a one-way street, which kind of frustrates me. So a person in that sort of situation, what do they do? How should I,
So you
instead
mean
of me
like you are good at understanding and reading into energies, but you don't get the same from
correct,
others,
it's
and you
more, yeah,
feel very frustrated and misunderstood, perhaps.
not misunderstood, but it's frustrating that, you know, when you consider somebody or you've known them for a very long time, and it's one way, that that same sort of consideration and empathy isn't coming back.
You have to improve the energy flows. Practically speaking, first thing first, you
Yeah.
have to improve the energy flow. So what's happening is that you are giving energy to this person, but you're not receiving energy from this person. So there is a receiving block in you, which is also the reason why this is happening.
Okay.
So the energy exercise that we did today, you just have to visualize that you are receiving energy from this person, and you're receiving a lot. It may take a while for you to start receiving because the channel is blocked. So that's one thing. Second thing is that yes, we all for special someone, we all have this deep need to be understood, that they acknowledge our sensitivity, that they understand us and come meet us halfway as well. And
Yeah.
it's a very human need to be loved, to be accepted, to be cherished and nourished and understood. So it's extremely human of us to feel that way. And it's a genuine thing that we all feel with our partners and friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So what I will ask you to do is open your receiving channels. Somewhere along the line, at some point, maybe because of hurt, some people subconsciously close themselves to receiving, because
Right.
they thought that if I receive, I'll be more vulnerable and I'll get used to it. And if I don't get it, or I may be there are many reasons why people block receiving.
Right. Good
So
point. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah,
just
that makes sense.
understand where the wound is or what happened, and try to open up your receiving channels. Feel brave to learn to receive in big and small ways in your life, and that in itself should create some change for you.
Oh, thank you. I actually joined the seminar late, so I apologize. But so I missed the exercise. But in order for me to sort of open, the receiving channels, I mean, is it by sort of meditation? I can do some meditation this way.
The exercise that we did, it will be definitely available afterwards on Facebook and stuff.
Okay, Facebook. Okay,
So
great,
yeah,
perfect.
you will be
Okay, I'll
able
check
to
that out.
check
Okay,
that out, and
thank you.
hopefully it will make sense. But if not,
Great.
you can always get back to me on
Okay,
this.
thank you very
Okay,
much.
so thanks. Our time is coming to a close, so I'm just gonna ask you guys if you have anything else to say before I do my closing.
Nazish, it's
Hi.
Carolina. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Nazish, I'm good. I have a question. How to deal with jealousy from anybody as an empath? How do you
So
how
the
is that?
jealousy is coming, or jealousy is what the person is feeling? Like, let's say I as an empath, I'm feeling jealous, or somebody else is jealous of me. What is the scenario here?
More about somebody else, but why not also the other way? But more that you
Okay.
can feel that this energy of jealousy is coming from somebody towards you, and it's not a positive energy. It's something that you want to avoid.
So jealousy is always something that comes from what's the deeper issue? Lack. Jealousy is coming from lack, because someone else has something that I want. Correct? Either way, it's true. So somewhere also, if you look deeper, it is about a non-acceptance of who I am, as if I am not enough. So somewhere that person is in that is very wounded and in non-acceptance of who they are. And when they look at you, they want what you have, and that upsets them, and that creates this heavy energy that an empath might absorb.
Exactly.
Happens. Yeah. So when this happens, there are several things to do in this case. So one thing is energy pull. So this person is pulling your energy, or pushing something very wrong towards you. So one thing you can do is you can do Ho'oponopono with this person. So that will create like a congruence between your universe and theirs, and the flow of energy is going to be not like, so when they look at you, And when they see that there's something in you that that upsets them, that upset comes to you, okay, in the form of energy. Like, let's imagine it's like a drop of color. It splashes on you, okay, and then you feel that heaviness, you feel that sting of it, and in some cultures you call that evil eye.
Exactly. And I feel the sting sometimes physically. I can actually feel it.
Yeah. I know this. Like, I know this from a very deep level. So what happens is that the person who received it, okay, the person who got it, so that's me. So I would talk about me. So the person who's on the receiving end, what can they do? So being an empath, what you can do is you learn how to let it flow past you, just how you did the energy exercise. So the fear that somebody put that bad energy on me is the one that makes that energy that came to you solidify in your universe. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so the person that sends it to you, you have to let it flow out of you, right? But how do you do that?
You are the one who will let it flow out of you, but your fear of it is the very reason why it got stuck to you. It didn't flow out in the first place. The fear and the judgment of the whole situation was the reason why it did not flow out in the first place.
Ah, okay. So again, the key here is not to fear.
Yeah. So, for example, you know, I had this one, I was once working with a client, and, you know, she was working on a project and she was so excited about it, but at the same time, she was so scared of discussing it with anyone. She said, what if somebody put evil eye and the project goes, da, da, da. And I was like, you know, there are people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, and they're like doing so good. Why don't they get bloody evil eye? How are they holding that energy field? How are they being awesome? And celebrities, you know, how are they able to do it? Think about it. So,
yeah,
isn't it? So there must be something that's a solution. That's, you know, like, so think of it. Think of that energy field. Think of yourself as an energy field which is always buzzing with light, which is so much, and it's always moving up. So the energy is always moving up, like from the earth to sky, from the earth to sky, and it's like a cycle. The same energy goes down, up, up, down. So when you cycle that energy, nothing stays. It just like how, you know, on petals of lotus, nothing can stay. It slips past it, you know, it can't stay. So just like that, your energy field is such that whatever comes up, out, comes, goes. So I will acknowledge that somebody sent something really mean towards me. It came to me, I acknowledge it, and I'm like, it's gone. Even before I get, you know, like pain, or maybe I'll feel slight pain, and it's gone. So that is what you have to become. So number one thing you need to do is cut your cords with fear and judgments. Second thing you have to do is practice moving your energy up. Practice moving energy up. From the earth to the sky, from the earth to the sky, round and round, round and round. The more you practice it, the more powerful your energy field will be to bypass stuff that is not needed. Okay. Now, on the giving end of it. So if and it's very normal for us to also feel sometimes jealous. It's a hormone, it's an emotion. So let's say I'm walking down the street.
Someone's microphone.
Yeah. So let's say I'm walking down the street, and I see a person walking next to me, and that person has an incredible body. And I'm like, damn, I would love that body. That's so awesome. Why don't I have that body? And I would feel a tinge of jealousy. Let's say it's normal. It's possible. It's a human emotion, right? So when I feel that tinge of jealousy, what do I do in that moment? I acknowledge it. I don't make it so wrong. Oh my God, I'm such a terrible person to feel this. Don't make it. Don't judge. No judgments. I am acknowledging that in this moment, I see this person's body, and I'm like, damn, I want something like that. So instead of judging myself, I'm going to convert that feeling into a prayer. I'm going to say, hey universe, can I have some of that, please? Okay.
Amazing.
Cool. And whatever is that sound. Okay. All right. I guess I had a lot to discuss, but 1 hour is never enough probably for this topic. So I'm gonna be back. I think we are gonna do a meditation soon, and I'm gonna give information about that. Illuminations will take care of it, of course, and we are gonna meet again for a meditation soon on Zoom. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. You guys have been
Thank
amazing.
love
Thank you very much. Love you
Naz.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naz.
Thank you.
Thank you.